big level of support is going to be between 74 and 72,000.
Bitcoin Zela stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zela today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway explores Bitcoin's potential recovery to $95,000 by examining market trends and investor signals. Watch to see how strategic shifts may fuel a powerful rebound in crypto.
Tesla today, another strong move. Early in the day, it saw a little profit taking back down, closing at the highs of the day, up another 3.5%. And again, I think we can all agree this was overdone to the downside. This is why I was long down here. I did get out of my trade yesterday because, again, I just wanted to book the 15% gain. But nonetheless, it did continue up. And honestly, this is where I would start to short it right here. So I wouldn't mess with it. Now, someone brought up a great point. They said, okay, so if you're not going to short it until, $330, why would you get out of your long? And that's a great question. Let me explain that. So the kicker is this, is that once probability of further upside gets down to like 50 to 60%, essentially at coin toss, you want to always bank that profit. Now, just because it's at 50 to 60% upside potential, or even if it's at 50-50, like you'd never take a trade that's 50-50. I mean, if you're going to, like I always say, if you're going to play a game that's about 50-50 odds, go to the casino, get free drinks, have fun with your buddies. This game is a game where I want to see that there's a 70% chance of success or greater. So as long as there's a 70% chance that something's going to continue to go up, I'm going to stay with that trade. Once it gets to like 60, 55, 50, I take my money and then I'll patiently wait for it to maybe right at 50-50. There's a 50% chance it goes up to 330 or a 50% chance it pulls back. If it gets to 330, then on Tesla, I say, okay, now odds of a short are at 70 to 80%. I'll take that trade to the downside. So this mentality is very important because most people are like, well, you're either long or you're short. But a real trader or investor says, okay, you're either long or you're short, or you're in a gray purgatory zone where probabilities are not high enough in one direction, and you sit on the sidelines and be disciplined and just let the trade do it, let the stock do its thing. There's no sense on forcing a trade unless you have great probabilities. All right, so that's kind of a good explanation of that. Take a look at Apple here. Apple rallying to the upside again today. This is a big level I'm going to be watching tomorrow for a potential day trade short on Apple, maybe even a good swing trade, frankly. So again, you have your trend line pivot low to pivot low here, and then you have a gap fill right here. Both of them are within a range of around 227 and a quarter to about 229. So there's a big resistance level on Apple coming up if it continues. Flipping over to Bitcoin, Bitcoin inching up a little bit today. Still hasn't taken out yesterday's highs, but what we do know is there's a resistance line downsloping here at around 89,500. And then if it gets through that, 92 remains resistance. If it starts to fall, you'll have little pivot low here, right around this 77 area of support. But really the big level of support is going to be between 74 and 72,000.
Bitcoin network economist Timothy Peterson maintains an optimistic outlook for BTC, asserting that there is a 75% chance the digital asset will hit new highs within the next 9 months. In a March 25 X post, Peterson noted that Bitcoin's current position near the lower bound of its historical range places it in the bottom 25%, favoring a potential rally. He mentioned a 50% chance of a short-term surge exceeding 50%. A decade of Bitcoin price data supports these predictions, revealing strong bullish trends, especially in April and October. Some analysts also highlight key on-chain cost basis levels among major investors. If Bitcoin falls below the $84,000 to $85,000 range, it could trigger selling pressure. Despite the possibility of a short-term correction, overall market sentiment remains optimistic. Traders continue to monitor these critical support levels closely, anticipating that a bullish breakout could drive Bitcoin to new all-time highs by 2025.
The U.S. dollar, here was your head and shoulders. This was a beautiful head and shoulders. It broke down, retraced, came to target, and now we've seen a little bit of a bounce. I'm in the camp that the dollar eventually will turn lower. But again, just like this, if you look at this move, right, we've had this monster move from here, down, bounce, and down. You probably are due for a little bit more upside on the U.S. dollar before it rolls over. Where would be a stopping point on the DXY? This low pivot here. See this low right here? That move up and down and then up. That now becomes resistance, or at least minor resistance on the chart that I'll keep an eye on. So this could be a retrace there. Same thing could be said. You can use your kind of fib from that high down to that low, and then just above that you have your 382 fib. 10-year yield, again, for me, this looks very much like a head and shoulders in formation. We can grab our head and shoulders drawing tool here on TradingView and just draw it in. But again, right now, we have not obviously completed the shoulder over here. It still has to curl over and then break the neckline, but it still looks very familiar that it might be a head and shoulder pattern. For those of you that are new, by the way, head and shoulder patterns are bearish patterns. And the key on a head and shoulders, and this is the big difference, right? So this is something that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to head and shoulder patterns, is this pattern means almost nothing until price breaks the neckline right here. This is the neckline. Basically, I call it armpit to armpit right here. So price, if it breaks the neckline, that's when the bearish pattern triggers, and then you can do a measurement from the high of the head down to the neckline, and you would actually take that distance, and that would be where you find your target price, which is just below 3.5%. But again, I stress, it's only valid. This means nothing. You can't calculate a target yet until we break the neckline, or you can't assume it's going to target until we break this neckline, which is around 4.31%.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are poised to close the first quarter of 2025 in the red, with little hope for a dramatic rebound before the quarter ends. SWAC's lead analyst Pav Hundal warned that a vertical swing up over the next 6 days is unlikely, given current market conditions. Ethereum has experienced a steep 37.98% drop this quarter, its worst decline since 2018, while Bitcoin is down 6.49%, marking its most challenging Q1 since 2020. Market uncertainty took hold in February as unexpected macroeconomic pressures emerged. Tariffs imposed by President Trump and lingering interest rate concerns have shifted investor sentiment from optimistic to cautious. Although historical trends have shown strong first-quarter performance, Ethereum averaging gains of 78.23% since 2017 and Bitcoin 51.62% since 2013, this quarter's performance is an exception to the norm. Additionally, the Ethereum/BTC ratio has sunk to its lowest level since May 2020, and overall crypto market capitalization has declined by 11.65% since January, now totaling $2.88 trillion. While some voices in the market, including comments from crypto commentator Colin Talks Crypto and insights from Swan Bitcoin CEO, remain hopeful about a rally in the coming weeks, most investors are bracing for continued volatility until mid-April brings clearer economic signals. The cautious sentiment underscores a market in flux, where past bullish patterns provide little comfort amid current uncertainty. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zela for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.